Lopez wants it away.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2. Beto behind the net. Sweeps it in front. He scores! Beto! 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 Stefan Beto! And the Rangers have one more hill to climb, baby! But it's Mount Vancouver! Anthony for three. Puts it in! Knicks by one with 8.2 remaining!
Joe Namath, number 12, has been the one big sidelight. He's come down here and he says the Jets are going to win. In fact, he doesn't even predict it. He says, I guarantee a Jet victory.
His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone has hit a home run. The Yankees go to the World Series.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Come on! Come on!
Woo! Oh yeah, baby. Big time weekend in sports to come. Big time game tonight for the New York Knicks. In the big time show on tap for Sports Talk today. Here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. It is Joshua Umahi, joined by, as usual on Friday, Kory David. Kory, how we doing?
I'm doing good, but we got a special guest in the studio.
Yeah, so introducing, or actually reintroducing
Nick Ohrnberger, I'm back.
He's back.
It's been a long time coming. I've been listening. I've been waiting, biding my time. I'm ready to attack, gentlemen.
Hey. That's an introduction right there. That's a reintroduction right there.
There we go.
Joshua Umahi, Kory David, Nick Ohrnberger on tap for you. 516-572-7440. If you want to discuss anything in the world of sports, call us up. Yeah, the Knicks. Let's just get right into it. So, I'm not going to lie. Earlier in the week, so Game 5 happens on Wednesday. And we had a show on Wednesday talking about it. The Knicks had just lost Games 3 and 4 in embarrassing fashion. Game 3 wasn't even close from the jump. Game 4, just embarrassing effort from guys like Julius Randle and some bench guys.
I told you that guy Jimmy scares me.
I mean, we'll get into him in a little bit because the whole narrative about how he's played this series is interesting to follow, but if you just focus on those last two games before Game 5, naturally Knicks fans were like, yo, I mean, I hope they don't go out like punks on the Garden floor, but I think they're done. They're down 3-1. Less than 20% of teams come back from a 3-1 deficit. And even if they had won, this is my opinion on Wednesday, even if they had won Game 5, I would have needed to see a lot to be like, all right, I'm hopeful for Game 6. I would have needed a whole lot to say Knicks in 7. I wouldn't have needed to see like a 30-point blowout. So we see a game that was close throughout. The Knicks definitely threw some haymakers at Miami. Miami fought back as they always do. We haven't given Jalen Brunson enough flowers, I think, for that 48-minute, 38-point performance. First Knick player, period, to play all 48 minutes since Walt Clyde Frazier in 1973. Just incredible. That's a dog at the point guard position. And it was the type of performance, like, I'm not entirely hopeful they're going to win it in 7. I don't know about tonight, but what Game 5 gave me was, I know we have a dog on our side. The Heat have a dog in Jimmy Butler, right? They have a few pit bulls in Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, guys that's done it. I know we got a dog in Jalen Brunson. So as long as he's riding with us and he's got that New York across his chest, I'm hopeful. I'm from where I was on Wednesday to now, it's not a complete 180, but I'm definitely a lot more hopeful than I thought I would ever be. It was a big time performance, and Quentin Grimes too. He also played 48 minutes. Randall stepped up after a bad first quarter, really played well the rest of the game. RJ Barrett, we already know the turnaround he's done. Nick, just what can you say about how this Knicks team, first off, when they went down 3-1, I'm guessing your confidence level wasn't high.
My confidence level still isn't high. Like, not for nothing. Look. Do you know how rare it is to come back from, I mean, you do, to come back from 3-1 in a series? The odds just aren't there, and I hate to be the one bringing Knicks fans down. I don't want to be that guy. I get it. Like, we're all excited. We're just excited to be in the second round of the playoffs. This is awesome. But I've been around a while. I have watched, I think I've said it to you guys off air. I'll say it on air. We have watched second-tier talent be the target of this organization for a very long time. Don't get me wrong. I love Julius Randle. I think in the regular season, he's an absolute dog.
Facts.
But something just happens when it gets too hot for him. Now, the other night, you saw something in the second half, but he still hasn't had his Garden moment. We're waiting on it. We're waiting on you to have we're waiting on you to have one of your Ewing moments, one of your Melo moments, something to lock you in Knicks history here. And I'm waiting on it still. I'll tell you right now about Brunson. I was furious about that trade. However,
Really?
I was.
Okay.
I wasn't on it. However, it turned out to be very beneficial. So, but is he a number one? Is he your number one gun right now?
On a championship team?
On a
as
championship
number one,
team, that's what I'm
he's
talking
not. He's a
about.
number
Yeah.
two. He's number two.
But
to me.
neither is Randall. And
That's a fact.
if you don't have a top 10, I think I sent this out to you guys today. If you don't have a top 10, top 15 guy, you don't win championships. Last team I know of that won a championship without a top 15, top 10 guy was the Mavericks when they beat the Heat. LeBron's first year in Miami.
Well, he did have Dirk, but I see where you're coming from.
He wasn't top 10 at that point. He wasn't top 10.
That postseason was top 10, though.
Yeah, his postseason was, but Dirk was at the end of his career. He was.
It was his last dance. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think he might have still been top 10, though, but I see what you're saying.
I'm not going to exclude Dirk. Dirk was still the best player on it. Like, he was by far one of the best players in the Western Conference.
That leg kick, he puts his knee out to you.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do about
Nothing
it.
you can do.
The fadeaway.
Oh God.
Patent it.
But with me, I agree with you on the same sentiments of the fact that I didn't think Jalen Brunson was going to be what he was, but he showed that if you look at this team, he is truly the leader. They go as he goes. You know, you look at Julius Randle. He's a great player, but he's sometimes out of control. Too many times, too often. Sometimes he goes into business for himself. And I think what you have with Jalen Brunson is a guy who can reel those guys in, because, like I said, he's able to like slow the game down, get to the spots where he wants to, and dictate and goes basically. He's able to attack the rim how he wants to. His shot in outside range, as far as it's hit or miss sometimes. But when he's able to attack, that's where his strong suit is. Me, I'm just glad that you heard who they announced as one of the refs today, right?
Oh, yeah.
The extender.
Scott Foster.
Look, I ain't never
From the top rope.
I've never been more. I've never hoped for Scott Foster to help me more than ever. And the thing about us being one of those teams of like, we're just glad we got there. I'm tired of being the team that just got there.
Yes,
we did
That's
this.
a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact. I'm so happy you said that.
I'm ready. Give me my moment.
I'm so happy you said that, because I've heard so many Knicks fans. I know Ross Levine ain't here, but I'm sure he would be saying this. Where the season, listen, the Knicks have had a great season. It's been the most enjoyable season, probably more so than 2013. Just to me, because the way this team came back, we finally have a point guard. It's more of a team unit. It's not just mellow and three-point shooting. I love this team. I've fallen in love with this team. And a lot of Knicks fans are saying that the season's already a success. Now, I see why you say that, but I'm sorry. Like Kory, you just put it, like, I'm tired of just getting there. Oh, the Knicks are the happy-go-lucky story. They just, look at the Knicks. They just so cute. Look at this cute little team just win games in the playoffs. No, I don't want that no more. If they want to send a statement to the NBA against playoff Jimmy Butler, right? That's all we hear about. And the Miami Heat. Yo, I'm geared up. Like, I'm back geared up. I didn't think I was going to be back here again, but I need a Game 6 win tonight.
Second, at least we are not. I'm just glad that, like, there's people who rooting for the Knicks and not those fair weather fans like Stephen A. Smith.
Man,
yes, I'm
listen.
calling you out.
You got to.
Ouch.
No, he got to. He got
It's
to.
like it's 1 minute you're with us, 1 second you're against us. What is it? You pick a side. And Nick, to your point of saying we need a top 15 player, I agree with you, but I'm like, who is out there that we can get?
Nobody. And by the way, that's part of my point, is that we are the New York Knicks. We live in the most harsh media market that exists. We have we are constantly, as I said, listen, I love Julius Randle, but he's not a top 15 star. He's a star. He's legit. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that he is a legit number one on a team that doesn't win the finals. You know what I mean? So when you have teams that win the finals, you need a Giannis, you need a LeBron, you need a Steph, you need you need a guy like Kawhi when he was in his prime. That's what you need. We don't got that right now. Now, I'm not saying we can't win this game tonight. And by the way, if we do, all bets are off. A game 7, there is nothing like, and it'll be back at the Garden.
I would need everybody in the Garden. I need some type of seismic.
I might buy tickets.
I need seismic events to happen.
Right.
Like, I need us to be on like so loud that it almost causes something to go down. Like, I need y'all. I need them to cheer. Like, stand on your feet, cheer.
You know who's going to be right in the middle of that mob if it happens too?
You got tickets?
You got tickets?
No, I don't got tickets. I'll still travel out to 7th Ave, though.
There you go.
I need to be part of that.
Oh, yeah.
If they win?
You heard what happened when they won the first series. Then they block off like 7th Avenue or something like that.
7th Ave was completely, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Completely blocked off. You had Knicks fans just going crazy. KD, don't you wish you came to the net? Like, there was all that going on. So I can only imagine what it would be like if we come back from a 3. Now, let me just say this.
Yeah.
The NBA don't want the Knicks to come back from 3-1. Nobody in the world outside of New York wants that, because what you're going to see from Knicks fans is
we get to act a little stupid. Now, the thing about when you say like we like looking at a top 15 player, like, not to look towards the future or anything like that, but the thing that I would think would be attractive to New York is the fact that we're so yearning for a star that, I hate to say it, sometimes the media will be biased and, like, you can become a megastar if you were in New York. Like, I'm just looking at certain scenarios, like if you had a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander here, if you had a Zion Williamson here, because we know the relationship down in New Orleans isn't as strong as it once was, and there's possible chance that he could be traded. So you look at those type of situations, I'm like, I can see a Jaylen Brown going from Boston. I can see many of those cases where those guys become. I hate to say it, the New York Knicks are always looking for disgruntled stars.
Right. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Let me so 2 things on what you just said. So a question that's been in my mind, because it's the ultimate like boom or bust. Like, would you take Julius Randle, who's 2-time All-NBA, great regular season player, but not a generational superstar or anything like that? Would you take him, or would you take Zion, who's definitely a generational talent, but he can't stay on the court his first 4 years in the league? If you had to choose, like, it's like the red door or the blue door, the red pill or the blue pill.
Those are my only 2 options.
For the power forward position.
I'd probably go Zion, just because when he's right, he's right. Like, he's dominant. And also, I'm not a guy who's sold on the idea that some of this, listen, I never judge a guy when it comes to injury. If you're hurt, you're hurt, whatever. Like, I never fault a guy for saying, like, I'm not sacrificing my body, my investment in this league just to play a game. Right? Like, I totally get that. My brother played in the NFL. I don't think you guys know that yet. My brother played in the NFL for 6 years. Like,
what team?
He was a Patriot, he was a Cardinal, and he was a Charger.
What?
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm just dropping things right now.
That name sound. Now I'm thinking about it. The name does sound familiar.
He's a Long Island legend. There's no doubt about it. My point is, I am not doubting, based on how much these players take care of themselves, that there's a possibility Zion was like, yeah, my ankle hurts a little, I'm going to take 20 games off. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take that off. Because he understands after his 4th year what the investment is into him. So I'm not saying he's doing that necessarily, but I'd rather take that chance than I would rather take a chance moving forward Julius Randle. That's all I'm saying. Julius Randle on his best day and Zion Williamson on his best day, there is not a comparison.
Facts.
To me,
there's not a comparison.
To me, I think of when you pose that question, I think of the Family Guy episode when it was like they have a boat and it's the mystery box. It says, "Hey, you can have the boat," and it's like, But the mystery box could be anything, even a boat. I mean, Zion Williamson could be anything.
Yep,
His career could lead to anything. You never know. But he could wind up being like Julius Randle. My only problem with the Zion situation would be the fact that I would think that it would be like a situation where it's like this. He doesn't necessarily doesn't like the organization down in New Orleans, right? And it's probably not a winning organization.
And by the way, the organization might not like him back right now.
But you think of, okay, is it a winning organization? And it checks the boxes, being that when Zion Williamson was healthy, they were like second in the West.
No, they were the one seed. They were the one seed.
At one point, they were the one seed, and it's like they can make major noise in the West if he was healthy. And I'm like, if he comes to New York, yes, he could be a star, and yes, we can win a lot of games. Do I feel like he could dominate in the East? Yes, for sure. But I'm like this: I got to know, what is his motivation? Because what motivates him? You know but you know who's a guy I am looking at who could possibly come? Now, he wouldn't play point. He'd probably play shooting guard. Dame.
That's been interesting because we know that Dame, if you watch what he's been saying, he's as close to as he's ever been about leaving Portland and moving on in his career.
You do got to look at those kind of little old stars who haven't won anything, like Dame, Bradley Beal.
I don't want Bradley Beal.
No, definitely not.
If we're talking,
definitely not.
Because him and Dame are on the same contract. So if you're telling me they're making the same money, give me Dame all day, every day. And that's the interesting thing about it, though, because Damian Lillard is 34 years old, but he just had a great All-NBA season, averaged 30 points per game. I would love it because I'll give Stephen A. credit for one thing. When he says, and Damian Lillard apparently told him directly, if I were to leave Portland for anywhere, it would be the Knicks. If you believe Stephen A., it's what Dame told him. So if you look at that, he's 34 years old, and how well would Brunson and Damian Lillard fit together?
It's difficult when you have two guys who believe they're point guards playing on the same team and not one of them accepting that they have to be kind of a combo guard situation.
Yeah, and the defense is a question too.
I would.
Neither one, by the way, neither one of them play elite style defense on the perimeter.
Sure,
neither one. So you're weak on the perimeter in that. I don't know if the Knicks would even want to do it. So you're not elite there. I mean, other than. You don't even have great post defense either.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Because we saw this small guard experiment work with work in the regular season with the Cavs because they had Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Neither of them is over 6'1".
You know, the Knicks is just. I feel like the Knicks is like the waiting area for like Donovan. Like he's just in Cleveland, just like I'm just waiting out this contract.
He'll be here at some point. It's
like we have Donovan Mitchell on layaway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious to think about. Actually,
hey, Josh,
and Cleveland knows it too. Josh, they know it too.
I think they do.
You know who my young star that I'm still holding out hope for one day.
Oh, So what you're gonna learn about Kory is that this dude is a huge LaMelo Ball guy.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Please, catch me up on this.
6'7", 21 years old, all-star already.
Okay.
His game just suits New York. The flash, the dash. He gets and then the fact that he's one of those players where I don't know how to describe it, but a lot of the times he's a great point guard, but he plays a lot of off ball and he knows how to play off ball. Yeah,
but you know what you get also when you get him? What? You get Lamar. You get his dad.
Surprisingly enough,
he's backed off the last few years.
Yeah, because I feel as though he knows that out of all of his kids, this is the one that actually has potential. But like I said, even though Lonzo is in Chicago and he's one of the best defensive guards.
My gosh, Lonzo's the real deal.
He's actually a solid player when you look at him. Like
he's more than solid. I'd say
he can play the 1 and 2, but he can guard bigger players.
Absolutely,
he's like Josh Hart. Like then the fact that they played.
That's actually a good comparison.
And the fact that they played together is so kind of ironic, but. That's just something like we had to look at the disgruntled stars, the young stars who are coming up on the rookie deals and stuff like that. I just feel as though we're just a couple pieces away. We're just a couple pieces away.
The problem is you're going to come into a situation where very, very soon they're going to have to make big decisions on a few guys. and they only have so much cap room. We're not in a position like the Celtics are with like a Jaylen Brown where they can go over the cap and sign Jaylen Brown because they have the bird rights to him. There's a few guys we're going to have to make those decisions for, and I don't know what direction they go in. I'm not even certain. By the way, I'm not certain Julius Randle's a part of this team next year if we don't win a finals.
That's a big question.
That's a big question. Because he's he's a sexy kind of trade piece for a team that's one guy away who needs like a third fiddle, a Chris Bosh type fiddle.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
You know who I can see him getting traded to? Just
hit me.
Sacramento would be like a great.
I was just thinking the Kings too.
like Sacramento with Julius
and De'Aaron Fox, bro.
It would be
that would be that. I actually.
That would
you might have just done something with that.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
And they got the cap room.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of that. I'm trying to think of that lineup. You have Sabonis. You would have Fox. You have Harrison. You have
Harrison would be gone. Barnes would be gone.
Barnes would have to go.
Oh, because he didn't have a good playoff experience. He didn't have
gone.
Okay. I can see the vision now. I can definitely see the vision with that.
Y'all might have just done something.
I think the key for tonight.
He did it.
I think the key.
He's GM. I'm just an assistant.
But you thought of it though. Great minds think alike.
That's right.
The liaison.
But I feel like
that's right.
I feel like the key for us tonight is just like if you look at the last game, we limited those guys to nobody. I don't think anybody scored in the 20s. Jimmy had 19. You had Bam Adebayo still in the teens. You just have to be consistent defense. Now, the problem with that is I feel as though Jimmy is one of those guys that when he was motivated and he could just turn it on like that, he's one of the most unstoppable players because he's just that motivated, as you heard from the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that story more, but let's hear from the caller first. Caller, you are on WHPC Sports Talk. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
I think you assume who this is. I mean, I'm here to rip Aiden apart.
What's good? What's good? What's going on? Why are you not here today? First off,
well, I had a job interview today, and they said they were gonna call me back. So I'm still waiting for that. So,
all right.
But,
are you waiting just like the Cowboys waiting to get their ring?
Why are you talking?
He's clearly not in the mood for this quarter. I don't know why you had to do that.
I always gotta get a little Cowboy jab in.
What's on your mind, Eric?
So, listen. Now, there's something that Aiden said that kind of, worked my nerve. He said, I want to continue to work hard for the Suns in the near future. When did you start working hard, bro? when did you ever start working hard for this team?
Oh,
I want to really know.
Eric, I'm not
Nick is dying.
Eric, I'm not gonna lie to you. It just dawned on me that you were a Suns fan, and it was totally in the back of my mind. Now that I think about it,
you sent a shot to him with the Cowboys.
That's what I should.
The Suns is right there.
It was right there on the play. But my thing is, did you see the report that came out today where he went to the GM to discuss on how to be a better basketball player?
Yo, he had the entire exit interview stuff with him today. He had a few insane quotes.
Eric, you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that report?
No, I didn't see it, but that just sounds ridiculous. I mean, you're you're asking James Jones, who's a whole different type of play style from, bro, what is he going to teach you how to do? Shoot the ball? I mean, yeah, that helps, but listen, you need to get down there and get tough.
I always thought he had the potential of being a Ewan type of player where he especially with Chris Paul. You would think that Chris Paul would be the perfect pairing, and then you see distinction on the sideline where he's not giving them high fives and everything like that. I'll still go down to saying this: the best decision that the Indiana Pacers made, were lucky enough to have this year, was the fact that the Suns picked up that option. Picked up his deal.
And the fact that I'm actually over here, it's probably it's gonna sound ridiculous, but I think we got fleeced in the Nets trade. I really think we do, because you got a young star, Mikal Bridges, who was finally showing his ceiling.
He's one of the best two-way players.
Spot-up shooter. Say that again?
One of the best. Mikal Bridges was one of the best two-way players in the league.
Right. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year, but we're not even going to talk about that. But I just feel like we got fleeced in that trade because Kevin Durant is, 34 years old? He only has a good 3 years left. What are you going to get now? Because you're going to try and move Chris Paul. What are you going to get for him? And you're going to try and move Ayton regardless of what he's saying. What are you going to get for him? Right? And then what are you going to do in the offseason free agency?
The Suns have the challenge because you never want to trade players when their value is at their absolute lowest. So in the case of Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, and for both their cases, for different reasons, because Chris Paul's hurt all the time now. He can't finish the season, and Ayton's... I had this quote about... I want us to read Eric this quote. So they asked DeAndre Ayton, I thought this was like a ball sack sports type of quote. Like, I really thought it was a fake quote. But this man said he was asked about blocking out outside noise and criticism. So he said this, quote, I let the peanut gallery get going, then I shut them up with my performance.
Did he like? What is he? What exactly does he be saying?
I could have sworn I was double triple checking the account. Like, there's no way this man actually said this.
My thing with the Suns is just the fact that like you have Devin Booker in his prime right now, and arguably you could say that on that stretch in this series, he was arguably one of the best players in the league, and everybody was thinking that he was approaching best player in the world type status. He was just giving you buckets all series long, and the fact that you have Chris Paul who still it's like Chris Paul is cursed. It's like right when he gets to the point when you think he has a team, he's always injured. I guess that's just the basketball guy just thinking about him being a dirty player.
Listen, if it's one thing, Devin Booker is the best 2 in the league. I'm going to continue saying that from here on out. I've been saying it for the past 2 years, actually.
I'm not putting anybody over him.
Neither am I. He's the closest thing, and I'm going to say this. This is real talk.
I think you might be.
Say it. He's the closest thing we've had to Kobe since Kobe. Period. End of story. End of story. He's that guy. He's got that dog in him. He's gonna win 3 or 4 championships. Period. It may not be with the Suns. We'll find out.
I agree 100% with that. I've been high on Devin Booker forever. He's like the quintessential 2 guard.
He's perfect.
It's like part of me don't want to say it's true, but it is. Except the fact that he don't have. I don't want to say he has Kobe's defensive prowess.
No.
Well, no, he's very good defensively.
He's very good defensively.
He stepped it up this postseason, more than ever.
He averaged a block or so this season.
A block and 2 steals.
Yeah. No, he's right up there. He's right up there.
Here's the thing that I really hate, though. Like, it's like, all right. You got people on Twitter, they go on Twitter and like, oh, where was Devin Booker in the elimination game? He was there the whole series. What more do you want him to do? You got Kevin Durant putting up 10 for 27 on field goal. Like, bro, what more do you want him to do? He showed up when he had to show up. The rest of the team didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say this because you know how NBA fans today are. There's no nuance with them. So you have to take into account Devin Booker carried this team for 6 games. Five games previous before this game 6, where the Suns went out sad, but he carried them through 5 games. That included 3 games in Denver. It's not easy to play up there and travel back and forth to Denver and Phoenix, and Kevin Durant too. So they just ran out of gas. It is what it is.
Playing against that Serbian beer, Jokic.
Jokic is different.
Jokic, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, when it's all said and done, Jokic might be top 10 all time.
Let's let him win a championship first. Can we please?
That's a fact.
Can we please?
A second. If I feel like this. He right now, if he wins the championship, he'd be like a higher level than Dirk because the fact that just the caliber of teammates that he had and everything like that, you would feel like he did more with less.
More with less than Dirk did? Is that what you're saying? Did you say Dirk or what?
No, more with less than superstars like Bron and all that.
Whoa. Yeah, first of all.
Like he's in that category.
Wow, hold on a second. Bron brought the Cavaliers, a Cavaliers team that had no business.
Don't do that.
No business being in that finals with the Spurs. He brought Delonte West and Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Don't forget Boobie Gibson.
And Boobie Gibson, that's absolutely true. He brought a team that had no business from the East being in a finals and got ushered out.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? I'm just saying they didn't belong.
And I'm a Bron guy.
No one was beating that Spurs team.
But then what did he have to do to get those rings? He had to kind of stack the odds a little bit.
Bron did what he had to do. And by the way, so did Durant, who is knocking on the door of top 10. Knocking. I'm not saying he's there.
Yeah.
He's top 15 for sure. I mean, the next person you got to oust from the top 10 to get someone in, is going to be Steph Curry. I mean, if he wins a championship, period,
it's over.
I think you have to kick someone out, and I don't know which. I don't know if it's Bird. I don't know if it's Wilt. I don't know who it is.
I don't know if you could get the guys with 5 rings out.
I get it, but if Steph wins one more, he's got 5. So what do? You got to kick somebody out, right? I don't know.
Okay, you might be able to kick Shaq out.
No,
you can't
no,
kick Shaq.
no.
Like, you can't kick Shaq, you can't kick MJ, you can't kick Kareem, you can't kick...
No. You can't kick Kareem, MJ,
or Kobe.
LeBron,
I'm not kicking Kobe. I ain't kicking Kobe.
Larry. You got Larry. You got Magic.
My question is,
you got Wilt.
Do you kick Duncan?
Ooh.
I don't
He's
know.
the greatest power forward who ever lived, period.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough because even if he look, just put it like this. No matter what you say, through the Shaq and Kobe era, through the LeBron eras, they were a dynasty that was able to get rings.
But they it depends on how you define dynasty, though, because they didn't win 2 years in a row. They never won back-to-back.
Wait, LeBron or who?
No, the Spurs.
The Spurs, yeah, they didn't. But there was like it was a 12-year stretch
of dominance.
5 championships. That's what gets me. And they did it with different guys. Robinson only got 1. He only got 1 with them, and then Tim got 5.
That's
Tony got how many? Did Tony get 5?
Tony got 4.
Tony got 4 of them.
That's the argument that they talk about when you think of like LeBron. They say that unlike when you look at Mike, there wasn't a dynasty when he was around. Like
no,
there was with LeBron.
Well, he was the dynasty.
Huh? He was the dynasty. Yeah. Him and Scotty and Dennis, and then before that, him and Scotty and who was the other big dog on that the early Bulls teams?
Horace Grant.
Thank you.
Maybe and I know that's a LeBron fan arguing point, but if LeBron would have stayed in Miami with the best coach in the league and Pat Riley, then
I hate the diversion. Who do you kick out?
Out of the top 10, nobody right now. I need Steph to win another championship before it's real.
That's where I'm at too.
He needs to get his 5th because it's hard for me, and it's hard for me because how do you not have the greatest shooter of all time in your top 10?
Like the one person who I think could get kicked, who could be out, but
I'll give you mine. Go ahead, but you go first.
And I would hate, and it would be a travesty, but Wilt
Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt's gone.
Because the fact that you guys saying like, when you look at Wilt and you compared him to Bill Russell, like he always came up short, and I just was like this. But the one on the opposite side, it's like he holds so many records.
I get it, but at the same time, like so does LeBron now. And if you're just here's what I'm going to go with this. Wilt had that give up in him. Like there were times he went to the finals and like I don't care. It's well documented that he would just not show up. He'd be there, but he'd be like, whatever. You know what I mean? He didn't care because he was the best person on the court no matter what. But like the fact that he could get rolled over a few times that he did, it's just like, bro, like you're him. Like how is this happening?
No, 1,000% correct. And until I see footage of that 100-point game, I'm not putting him top 10.
Yeah, exactly. There's no footage of it. It's still a myth. And the only reason I'll say it's a myth is because I'm a Knicks fan and I don't want to believe it.
Facts. There you go.
I'm not gonna lie.
Swing the gavel.
The only reason why I believe it is just because I've watched like you ever watch his highlights in HD?
No, I haven't actually.
He was a specimen. It was like a faster, more athletic version of Giannis.
Where's the 100-point game in HD? I don't know where it's at.
You wouldn't hold up the sign just to say I got this. I don't think
maybe he would.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was like unknown about him until like a couple of years ago. Like the fact that he was a professional at 16 and he had to lie about his age. He was like I think like 15 and he had to say he was like 25 or something like that.
So he's a liar. It's well documented. He proved my point.
But no, he was dominating grown men at the age of like 15 or 16. Like while he was playing high school, had a whole professional career.
We got to let Eric get on with his day. But Eric, where do you fall on top of where you would put Steph if he wins 5? You putting them top 10? Who you kicking out?
I'm putting them top 10. It depends on really who you put top 10. Like everybody's list is different. I obviously have Magic in there, but I might have to move him down because it's just like Steph would be the greatest point guard at that point.
Hey, Eric, before we let you go, I do have one more question. who do you want to see the Suns go after next year in the offseason? In the offseason, as far as like if you want to trade if you're trading Chris Paul or if you're trading DeAndre Ayton, who's like somebody you would think could, if they got on the Suns, could get them over the hump?
See, I don't really know because I don't even know what we're gonna get for like these guys. Like
KD and Kyrie reunions.
That'd be
that's
great.
gonna be tough.
That'd be tough with the money, I think.
Yeah.
You can get Van Vliet and Porzingis.
Yeah, we could do that.
What about Shea? What about Shea?
He's not going anywhere.
Nah, I think he's untouchable now.
You don't think he's going anywhere?
No. They're just gonna leave him alone right where he is and just try to bring somebody down there.
If I'm a team, like I said, you know, like I said, I'm trying to get those 2 young guys from the 2020 draft. I'm gonna see if I can steal Ant away.
I'm gonna watch the Timberwolves closely.
I can see if I can
they're a dumpster fire right now.
See if I can steal either Ant or LaMelo away from their respective organizations.
You know what? You trade for Julius Randle, and that's what you do. That's what you go get Julius Randle.
The savior.
There you go. You get your 4.
Eric, I gotta let you go, but I'll leave you on this. So they're saying Devin Booker has lost 3 straight elimination games to Giannis, Luka, and Jokic. So do you hate Europe at this point, or are you still cool with?
No, I still love Europe.
All right, just checking.
Hey, look, I don't blame Booker. He's just suffering from that Kardashian Jenner curse. You know, you ride.
I knew someone was gonna bring that up.
You ride this high, and then you get to the lowest of lows.
Unfortunately, that's the truth.
Yeah, just look at Lamar Odom. Hopefully, Devin Booker doesn't follow the same.
You can't look at Miles. Oh wait, you got Cowboys. Miles Austin. You look at Miles Austin, Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush won a championship while he was dating Kim.
But what happened after he left? He won a
championship while it was going on?
That's the thing. You ride the highest of highs, but once they leave you ride the lowest of lows.
I guess. All right, Eric. I'll see you. You going to be here Monday?
Actually, no, I won't be.
I set him up for that one.
Yo, Josh, let's not forget that, what's the name? Reggie Bush playing on the field did not end his career. He got hurt by sliding on concrete in a stadium. Like, that has to be the unluckiest way for your career to be done.
You rest your case with that one? Yeah.
The Kardashian curse is real.
Right.
There's 2 things in sports. That I believe. The Drake curse, and the Kardashian curse.
Don't forget the Umahi jinx, too. I'll see you next week, Eric, at some point, all right?
All right.
Hopefully you get the job, man.
That's nice of you.
Hey.
That was very sweet of you.
Yeah.
Always got to big up people.
You're a good guy.
I am.
Kory is a good guy.
You know what? I'm glad you're here to see this because I get ridiculed about my ageism and all of that. You know, being an older guy on the show.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
20. I'm 34. So we're in the same company. We're good.
I'm the baby in the room.
He's turning. Yeah, you're turning what? 26 this year?
Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah,
he's a poser.
He's a poser. He's a poser.
Wow.
Look. He's not a millennium. He's a Gen Zer.
Like he's probably just Gen Z.
He's on the border.
You're allowed to. You're like the. I'll include you into the late millennials.
Because Kory just walks up in here every week. You can't wait to tear me down, yo. Getting tired of it. Let's go back to the Knicks real quick. We'll close on that topic. Emmanuel quickly is doubtful with that ankle injury. Tom Thibodeau said he was day-to-day, but it's not looking like he's going to play Game 6.
Nope.
Pick one aspect of the Knicks. What must they do to force a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden on Monday night?
Julius Randle needs to have the performance of his life, period. He needs to have the performance of his life. I'm talking like a 35-point, 12-rebound kind of game. He needs to work the offensive glass. He needs to hit from 3. He needs to hit inside. He needs to draw fouls. He needs to be the focal point.
Not just him.
Just him.
RJ Barrett has to come along.
And by the way, Barrett needs to hit some shots tonight. He needs to hit some big shots tonight because now we don't have Quickly. So
you've done it all series at Madison Square Garden.
Let's
do it in Miami.
Do it in Miami. It's New York too. Like just do it. Let's go. Those are the differences right there. There's a saying: dance with who brung you. Well, these are the people who brung you. So if you're Randall, you got us this far, end it here. RJ Barrett, it's been an up and down season. I think he finished with about 20 points a game. It's time to like show that shooting prowess right now. And on the other side, Brunson just needs to be Brunson. He just needs to be him. And those three guys need to step up and make this happen.
And defense is key.
Yeah.
Defense is key.
Motor.
Look, Mitchell, I need you tonight.
He can't keep getting punked like he's been getting punked. Bam has had him stuffed in the locker all series.
Yeah.
Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, no.
That can't happen tonight.
The fact that, and by the way, the fact that Bam Adebayo is doing that to you, like, bro, like, take that personally. Come out tonight and just be like, I don't care if I foul out in the third quarter. You're going to feel me tonight.
100%.
Do it.
And the thing about that is that everything you guys just said, I know this team is capable of because we've seen it at multiple points throughout the season. I was going to bring up Julius Randle, but this is going to sound crazy. I don't even care about the scoring. If you just play with effort, because the last time we saw you in Miami, Julius Randle, you played with zero effort. Yeah. You were jogging to closeouts. You weren't chasing the offensive glass. You was vibing. You wasn't even doing nothing. You was just existing. You weren't playing with force. And Kory, you brought up the defense. How many times in this series have we seen Miami just get dribble penetration in the paint or towards the paint, swing the pass, wide open three? It's been like a repetitive theme. So if you're RJ Barrett, if you're Quentin Grimes, if you're Josh Hart, if you're the perimeter stoppers for the New York Knicks defensively, you need to play with some pride at the point of attack. Don't let Gabe Vincent and Max Strus get by you so easily. Yep. I'm tired of seeing that. If they do all that, the formula is there for the Knicks to win this game.
And by the way, if any one of those three guys want to just go off tonight, that'll help too.
That'd be great. Josh Hart has done nothing offensively.
I mean, just have a night. Have a game 6 to remember. Let's go.
Let's go, Knicks, baby. Let's go.
Go.
That's a fact. I need game 7 back at Madison Square Garden Monday night. I need it like I need oxygen.
This is the one time I wish you had the Michael Irvin, like the Michael Irvin motivation clip was like, when they punk you, what are you gonna do?
Play that in the locker room.
I wish I had that. I mean, I could play it on the Mac if you want to like stall for a couple minutes. If you really want to motivate the Knicks. Man,
motivate me.
Yeah, just get it loaded before the end of the show.
I can do that. That's bet.
That's how we gonna close it off with a little motivation.
Facts. A little motivtional speech for the New York Knicks tonight.
But looking at the rest of the series real quickly for the playoffs so far, you look at Boston and Philly. Y'all had it.
We need to talk about this.
You had it at home. You were home. You had everything go for you. Was up and you had the lead at one point, and you just squandered it.
The Sixers are funny, yo. The Sixers are hilarious. Doc Rivers is funny. Joel Embiid is funny. James Harden is funny. The whole team is funny because you let Jason Tatum start this game 1 for 14. One shot made in 14 attempts through 2.5 quarters. And you let this man get comfortable. You let this man steal your hearts in Philadelphia. That crowd was ready to go crazy, embrace the team, get to their first conference finals in years since 2001. And you wet the bed. I couldn't believe what I watched.
The only regret about this game I have is I wasn't still living in Boston to watch people cry about that in person, because or celebrate about that in person. Because any bar that was being watched in, and that's where I primarily work, was going off the hook. They were probably the first 3 quarters were going nuts, yelling at the TV, and they just let them turn it around completely. So. It's a weird thing that we're seeing a 7th game. I don't know what to expect from a game 7 from a Philly-Boston series. I don't know if Joel folds. I don't know if Jason folds. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happens here. I really don't know.
Kory, you know, because I don't know either.
Look,
this is like the ultimate wild card game 7. Anything can happen.
It is, and I feel as though. Wait, you know what? I wanted to say, you know who actually I felt that always was the closest to kind of Kobe a little bit? Jason Tatum got a little Mamba in him.
Not as much as Booker, but I agree.
Not as much.
But then you make that. Everybody makes that joke. Remember, like, what was it? I was to say, was it last season or the season before that? Was he the one that got the text? Like he was like, I got the text. looking at his old text from Kobe. I was like, that was motivation. Was that him?
That was.
I think it was him.
And they was like this. They said he played so bad. He was like, did you actually get that? I think he played the next game so bad. He's like, did you read a text from Russell Westbrook this time? I'm sorry, Russell. I didn't mean for you to catch it straight.
If they win this, if Philly wins this game, it's going to come down to Joel Embiid just being the guy. It's going to come down to him just bullying people in the paint. Stop trying to shoot from mid. Just get in there and just bully people. The Celtics win. It's either going to be one of those Jaylen Brown games where like they're just moving the ball real well. He's knocking down threes nonstop. Or it's going to be Jason Tatum just dominating, slashing, doing what he does. But for me, if the Celtics want this, they have to close down on Embiid, and if the Sixers want this, it's got to be Embiid. This has to be his moment. I'm here.
If you are look. I hate to say it, but like everybody's been this whole season, everybody's been doubting whether or not he was the MVP legitimately. Like everybody,
sure, yeah,
it was
because we know what he is in the play. I know MVP is a seasonal award, but we know what he is in the playoffs. He folds, bro.
But everybody had like the case like Nikola Jokic should have been the MVP. They felt as though like the reason why he didn't get it was because a lot of people was like, oh, he can't be the first guy to get 3 in a row or anything like that. They didn't believe it. And then so they gave it to Joe. I felt as though they gave it to Joe.
You think it was a sympathy MVP?
I felt as though it was one of them situations where Jokic didn't want the award. Jokic didn't want the award because you seen all the criticism that came with it. Like he became one of them guys that's like, I'm done with this. Like I'm on to wanting to win championships. Yeah. And I felt as though with Joel, it was like one of them situations where he needed it for that confidence to say, I know I'm that guy of this league. Yeah. And now you have to prove it. You can't be one of them guys that you're so big, like you can't settle for shots like that. Mm-hmm. And even when you do, like if you look at the game, you can't be. You have to be one of the guys that has to take over. You and James Harden really have to be one of those guys that take over. They're leaving guys like PJ Tucker open for a reason.
And how is PJ Tucker the linchpin in a series like this? Like PJ Tucker has been all over the place. Like for real, he's just this.
He's been a junkyard dog. That's what I call him.
Absolute. He reminds me of like guys like Tony Allen, guys like just these high energy defensive guys. Pat Bev, these dudes who are just in your face.
Pest.
A pest.
You need a good pest on your team now.
Draymond comes to mind, obviously.
Look, when I say you need a good one, and Dillon Brooks was not a good one. His pest tactics did not work.
He's just a good defender. He's not a pest. He's an outstanding.
Yeah, he's
an outstanding defender. He's an outstanding perimeter defender. He's terrific.
Well, but he doesn't get outstanding. He's good.
He's real good though.
Like when you
didn't he just get it? Was he all second defensive all team defense? Second team. Yeah.
He made second team. When you look at a guy like PJ Tucker, like you look in a dictionary for 3-and-D player.
That's the guy.
He might be there because he has 2 jobs. I'm gonna defend and I'm gonna wait in this corner. He's not even on the perimeter. Yeah. In the corner.
Now he's a literal definition of a 3-and-D. That's all he does.
Yeah. He just backs out to the 3, just waits around like, oh me.
And the craziest thing is the fact that you'd be surprised at how long his career lasted, and the fact that he started off like overseas. It's like nobody expected his career to last.
He's had an incredible career arc, that's for sure.
He's unbelievable.
Great role player, like the quintessential role player.
But when you look but moving on, we've seen the Suns lose, so there ain't that much to really talk about. We already touched on that. The Lakers versus Warriors.
Before we get to that, let me just say, and before we get to the caller too, like Nick brought up Embiid. I'm sorry, but if you're looking what Jokic is doing, smoke the Timberwolves in 5 games, smoke the Suns in 6 games. Historical stuff, right? You got to come out in Game 7 and dominate. You can't just play great.
And look,
dominate.
There's sometimes where his teammates don't even show up. Like I've seen games where Jamal Murray isn't having the strongest point, and I'm still to this day wondering how did Michael Porter Jr. finesse the Nuggets into that contract?
That contract is disgusting.
Here's all I'll say about that, and then obviously get to the caller is that the Sixers aren't in the playoffs without Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
there's a chance the Nuggets still are.
No.
There's a chance the Nuggets still are.
I'm be honest with you. There's no way in the world that they.
I look into MVP as who was most valuable to your success, and there was no one more valuable to any team's success other than Joel Embiid.
Jokic.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
He's your point guard. He sets. You know when they say who's the guy that stirs the drink, like stirs the.
Right.
He's that guy that makes everything goes around. Like I'm not gonna lie. The one thing I fear in this league is if you pair these two people up. If you was to ever pair,
Jokic and Embiid.
No, if you was to ever pair Jokic and Luka Doncic together.
Oh my God,
that might be the scariest. I mean, you might not get no defense, but it'll be the scariest pairing in the world.
Unstoppable.
Just offensively wise, they can get to their spots, and the fact that they have chemistry because they are best friends.
That would piss me off watching it because you'd just be getting dominated by two dudes that can't run a 5.140. That would really like piss me off. Like, yo, you mean to tell me like you're moving like molasses out there? You out here dropping 30-point triple doubles in the same game?
Yo, you wanna know? I'm not gonna lie. Jokic is. I hate this. I'm not gonna say I hate him in this, but he's like my guilty pleasure. Like, I love watching this game because I feel like when I watch him, he gives me hope. Like I could go out into the local park and I can play his game.
He's your guilty pleasure?
Yes.
He's your guilty pleasure?
Pause.
He's your guilty pleasure.
You should have paused that 2 minutes ago.
I should have paused that. But no, I'm talking about as far as like watching his game. Like you wouldn't think like he would be somebody who you like. Everybody likes to go for the athletic guy, like the Kevin Durant, or LeBron James. But when I just want to sit down and watch a game, it's Jokic because of the fact that how meticulous he plays the game, whether or not he's setting up screens, and whether or not he's thinking of the pass after that pass. Like, he's thinking of the pass to go to that pass. Like, it's just, I don't know how to describe. He's a savant when it comes to playing this game.
That's a perfect word. I wish we had another hour in the show to debate that.
You want to get to these schedules?
It would take an hour.
You want to get to these NFL schedules real quick? Or did y'all get to that yesterday?
I do, but we got to get to the caller first. He's been waiting a long time. Let's hear from him. You're on WHPC Sports Talk. Caller, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? Dave, formerly from Franklin Square. Now I'm out here in beautiful Nevada.
All right, how is it over there in beautiful Nevada today?
It's about 90. It's the air ain't moving that much. So.
Okay, all right.
I got to go to bed.
But I do listen to your brother on Fox Sports FM on the weekend.
You do? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Dave, it has been almost 5 years. How are you?
Older.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, I didn't think you got younger, so.
Yeah, no, I'm 55 and over community out here in beautiful North Las Vegas.
Beautiful.
Dave's still a legend.
Yeah. Oh, of course he is.
Yeah.
He'll forever be a legend.
Now, a quick one about the Giants' schedule.
Yep.
7 of their first 10 games are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the fact their first 3 games, it's 3 games in 11 days.
So it's a number one. It's one of the harshest schedule I can remember for a Giants team, like in recent memory. It's an absurd ask. Quite frankly, the only team I think it has worse than the Giants, just because that first little stint is horrible, is the Seahawks. Do you know how much the Seahawks are traveling this year?
That's a lot of mileage.
It's like 30,000 miles over 32 time zones. It's absurd. But the Giants have it bad, and I hate the fact that they put such a important game for the Jets right at the beginning of the season. Like, what are you doing? This is not just a game. That's a must-win game right in the beginning of your season for both of them. Giants are playing Cowboys. Jets are playing Bills. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, they are playing it on September 11th, the Jets. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the first. You do mention the first week, the first games. Your Patriots are saluting Tom Brady that they'll be playing Philadelphia that Sunday.
I have no idea why you just said my Patriots. My brother played for them. I do not root for the Patriots. I lived in Boston. I didn't root for them. Get out of here.
Question, Nick. What is your team?
My only question is who's got a better chance of showing up for Brady Day, Eli Manning or Giselle?
You know what? Surprisingly, I think Giselle. Eli Manning won't be anywhere near that game. I'm going to say Giselle will show up.
I don't think Giselle wants any parts, but that's just me. Right? That's just me.
Oh, that's too funny. That's hilarious.
Is she bringing the jiu-jitsu master with her too?
Oh yeah, her martial arts instructor.
Yeah, instructor. Instructing her on
Life.
life.
Yeah,
life
and-
coach.
Yeah, they also do yoga poses.
Is that what you young kids call
They're
it?
just
Yeah.
They're just listen. They're just trying to work on their flexibility. That's what's happening.
There you go. That's all
I
they
heard the
do.
report that Tom is he might be interested in becoming a limited partner in the
And
Raiders.
the Raiders, I heard that today. Yeah.
And the Raiders got 5 primetime games for some reason. I
turned
can't
down
figure
Which
it
is
out.
bizarre because they have 5. No, it's true. They have 5 primetime games this year. The Raiders.
Jimmy. I don't know.
The Raiders?
Jimmy.
The
The
Raiders.
Josh McDaniels Raiders?
Yeah, them.
The Jimmy G Raiders?
Those guys. Absurd.
Oh, question: who are they playing these? Because it might be a situation where the team that more appealing is the opposite team.
Well, so they're going to play 2 games against the Chiefs. Both of those will wind up being in primetime.
AFC rivalry,
Obviously, which is fine. I have no problem. I think the other, Dave, do you have the other 3 in front of you? Because I'm sad to say I'm ill prepared, but I can't remember what the other 3 games are.
No, but I know the Giants and
The Giants
Jets,
and sorry.
they're both going to be playing at Allegiant Stadium.
Really?
Yep.
How about that? So yeah, it's wild. The Raiders are they're a team that's well behind where they need to be to garner that kind of attention. But what are you going to do? I mean, they're a famous franchise. They're an original a Ridge 6 franchise. So what are you going to do about it? It is what it is. And Vegas, and that's the other thing. In Vegas, now that sports betting is getting wider and wider spread across the country, of course the Raiders are going to be on TV. Why wouldn't they be?
Okay, so I do have some of the Raiders
hit me.
primetime game.
Real quick, Kory, real
So
quick.
you got the Jets. You got the Jets.
Yes.
You got the Steelers.
Steelers, okay.
I believe you have the Chargers. I think you have the Giants, and I believe you have
It's got to be a Chiefs game, right? And then the Chiefs game?
the Chiefs. The
Yeah.
Chiefs.
So the Chiefs, I understand. The Chargers, I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dave, we're going to let you go. We're towards the end of the hour here, but good to hear from you.
Have a good one.
Absolutely.
Take it easy, Dave.
Man, we covered a lot today's show, yo. The return of the Ohrnberger. And, like Kory said, we got to send a little message to the Knicks before we get up on out of here. Let's see what Michael Irvin got to say.
Listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house. Take your meal. Do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling you.
Bing bong.